you could teach math like this. Like some dude who didn't in the book, he didn't know shit about math, and he applied this memory technique, and he could do like complex ass calculus just by memorizing the formulas and applying it, like which is pretty crazy. So imagine you were taught biology like this, you were taught math like this, history, freaking physics, bro. You could unleash some like genius, bro.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 714 podcast. You know, we're back in studio again. Got my cousin Hritik here, you know, after...
Yes, sir.
When was the last time you came in? Like,
oh, dude, probably a month. Like, it was like
February.
Months, February, yeah. Like
I remember we talked about... Yeah, Kobe.
Passed. Yeah, that was one.
Yeah.
Damn, it's been a while.
I know. But it's good to be back here.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yep. So... Yesterday we had Thanksgiving. This is the day after of Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving.
You know, that was fun, man. Like a good meal.
I know.
Plenty to be thankful
Big
for.
Feast. Yeah, dude. That was a really fun Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It was just like my family and your family, and we had to keep it small. Yeah,
we made it small this year. Usually we have our family come over to our place and just feast, you know.
Eat a bunch.
Yeah.
We still had good. We had like all the essentials: mac and cheese, turkey, like mashed potatoes, stuffing, like loaves, like bread,
salad. We got everything.
We had everything.
Yeah. It was good. It's good to have that, and I had it for leftovers too. I ate it today.
I just ate that. I just ate that before coming here.
Yeah. It's actually better like good. The day after. Like I had that mac and cheese and I was like, holy shit. It might have been better than yesterday.
Yeah, probably.
Like that's how good that shit is.
I don't know how it does that, but
yeah.
And dude, turkey, bro, it had me knocked out yesterday. Like I had to drink coffee.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Like it makes you so tired because it has tryptophan in it.
Yeah.
And like that's the amino acid that makes you tired in like humans. I don't know if that's the only animal to like possess that, like that we eat, but I've noticed every year you just eat it and you get tired. And one thing, I don't know if anyone else notices this, but when like it's only like, say it's only like 7 o'clock, you think it's like 9 or 10 easily. For some reason you just think it's later than
especially if you're used to eating at a later time. Like we usually like 8, 9, you know, around there, like later times. But when at Thanksgiving you usually early because it takes a long time to cook and everything.
Yeah.
And then like we were done by I think like 7. Yeah. And so
we watched Home Alone classic, the first one.
Home Alone. That's an essential to watch every season this comes around.
Dude, yeah, like now at this point it's just Thanksgiving, only Christmas music.
Yeah.
It's just Christmas season.
We were playing Christmas music the whole time. Yeah. And so it was a fun night, you know.
Yeah, that was fun.
But yeah, we watched Home Alone, which was fun.
I've watched that
we watched that so many times, but it's a movie you could always watch and you'll still have fun watching it. Yeah. There's very few movies like that.
Joe Pesci's a great actor. Yeah. He makes it funny as well.
Now we need to watch the second one.
The second one.
Yeah.
It's always good to watch.
It's like for us, like we watched Home Alone, we watched Rush Hour, like
Rush Hour is essential.
Those 3 movies. I don't even know how many times we've watched it.
Bro, we watched it so many times. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. We used to go, like, whenever we would sleep over at your house, like, we'd watch at least 2 or 3 movies that night, like that day. We'd spend hours just watching movies.
That's how it's supposed to be. Enjoy it. But have you heard Mike Tyson and Roy Jones are going to fight?
Yeah.
Like, literally tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it. And Jake Paul and Nate Robinson. Like, dude, the height difference is like, it's noticeable.
How tall is Nate Robinson?
He's like 5'8" or something.
5'8". And then Jake Paul is like 6 something.
Yeah, he's above 6 at least.
Yeah.
And then, dude, that's tough. But Nate Robinson is ripped, dude. I've seen like the videos when he trains.
Because he's like an actual athlete. You know, he played in the NBA.
Dude, I don't know how he dunked. Couldn't he dunk in the NBA? That's crazy.
I think he jumped over Dwight Howard too.
Yeah, that's like crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, he kind of looks like Kevin Hart, like a little bit with the size and everything.
But then, dude, like Mike Tyson, how old is he now? Like 50?
Bro, he's probably in his 50.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere. Bro, he got like fat, and then he got like fat, and then now he's like ripped. Dude. I know. He's like back.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I heard that he didn't want to fight again because it would like his ego would fire up again, and he doesn't like that. But now for this, I guess he came back.
Yeah, he's like,
and he's still like fast, bro.
I know, bro. He's crazy. Bro, one punch from Mike Tyson, like you're out. You're cold.
Did you see the video of him like training, like how fast he was?
Dude.
His turning, like he turns quick.
Boom. Yeah, you got. He puts the whole waist, the rotation, everything into one punch. That's how you create power.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. But Roy Jones, he's quick as hell too.
I haven't seen any of his like.
I'm not even like a boxing fan like that, but I've seen. So on Snapchat on the Discovery page, I always just see it like their fight videos and stuff. Their training, bro. He's fast. He's like good. I don't know who he is really, but apparently he's a good boxer.
Because he's around. I think he fought around the same time that Mike fought, and so them two coming back. Are they just doing it like for charity or what are they doing?
I don't know.
Like just cause.
Hopefully for charity, but maybe just cause like they just wanted to. They're like, all right, let's fight. Because
I think it was before like COVID happened. They had something planned.
Yeah, they had something planned, and then they stopped it until now. It's back, bro. Dude, they're getting Jake Paul. He's second in line. Like it's like Mike Tyson's number 1. He's number 2. Him and Nate Robinson. So they're gonna make money from that regardless.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But like we didn't grow up around the time that Mike Tyson fought, so we didn't really watch it. But now that I look back at the YouTube videos,
crazy.
Like you could just tell he came out there to like kill.
I know.
Like
that's
unstoppable. Crazy.
Yeah, he was a monster in the ring for sure.
Yeah.
I like MMA more, but this is like a fight you have to watch. Like, but yeah, MMA this Saturday. There's nothing.
UFC.
Or UFC, yeah. But there's nothing this Saturday. Like actually, I think there's a pretty good like number 1 fight. But
do they usually have events every week?
Every Saturday, yeah. But dude, the Khabib and Gaethje fight, that was insane.
I didn't watch that, but I heard it was good.
Dude, he got him in a triangle choke. Like those things, like,
and it was his like. I remember it was his last fight, right?
Yeah, he's like he didn't even want to fight. He told his mom, and his mom was like, "Oh, like don't go to a fight without your dad. It's you. It's always been your dad's been to every single fight. Like that's crazy." But he's like, "No, I just want to do this and end it, like no matter what." And he came out and won. But dude, his dad, it shows how amazing of a coach he is because he's trained like the people he's trained, they're like 8 of them right now who he's the coach of are in the UFC right now. So like, yeah, he trains like monsters. Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know how he trains them, but he trains them good.
Khabib only had like one coach, like just his dad.
Yeah,
the whole time.
Yeah, his dad. But now for the recent fight, it was his dad's like best friend who was always at the gym with them and stuff. He coached him. I'm pretty sure. I forgot his name, but yeah, that dude. They coached him good. He's a monster, bro. He put him in a triangle choke. He's so good on the ground because he's like really good at wrestling.
I remember like that. Him versus Conor McGregor when they fought, like everybody.
Bro, imagine how strong of a choke he gets because Conor's chin was under it, but the pressure to put like just on his chin, like it's too much even for a person like Conor McGregor who just fights for a living.
Yeah,
so you don't want to get in a chokehold in Khabib's chokehold. But yeah, this triangle choke, like if you get it in right. You'll get. That's why Gaethje got knocked out, and I like now that I look back at the video, like he tapped, but the the ref didn't really see it. He thought it was just like a defense, like he's trying to hit him in the face.
Oh, okay.
And so
he was trying
he
to tap
out. Yeah, because if you get in the triangle and you put pressure down a little bit, it's still like I was like, Dad, like let me try it on you, but I didn't put pressure. But once I put like a little bit of pressure, he's like, dude, no, that actually I feel it like right when you put a little bit.
Yeah.
So imagine just going full force on a triangle choke. That's incredible. But yeah.
Yeah. So like you started getting into UFC like past few months, right?
Yeah.
You even went to the UFC gym.
I got like the free trial at the UFC gym and
How was that? Like,
bro, it's fun. It's fun, but I think like if you're going to utilize the training and stuff, like then, and if you're like, you love it and you're serious, then yeah, go like spend the money and utilize the training and whatnot. But if you like, for me, I kind of just wanted to like screw around and hit the punching bag and because it's a gym plus the like punching bags, and the training and some other equipment. So yeah, I mean, I want a punching bag in my backyard just to hit around because that's like pretty much why I went to the gym for. But
yeah, it's good exercise, you know. Just like even shadow boxing, I heard is good.
Yeah, I know it's
just
good.
Like 30 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
it's full 100% energy. It gives you like a full workout basically with just a little bit of one exercise.
Yeah, that you can do.
Because right now over here, like our gyms are closed. I don't know about the rest of like the U.S.
Most
and
24 hour. We go to 24 hour. Those are most of them are closed right now. Like
because the governor here, is just
Newsom's
doesn't know anything.
But yeah, like only some of them are closed. Like I know the one on like Main Place. I think they're putting everything on the roof because apparently they have a rooftop basketball court.
Yeah, so I've been to that one, but like I don't know if they put it up there already because like they did.
Sure they did, yeah. Because my friend from UCSB, he goes to that one. He's like they already have it all set up, but getting a reservation is the hard part because everyone wants to go. Because
one time I went there to like my gym and there was a line outside just to get in because they limit the people once they see like, okay, there's like 100, 200 people in here. Damn. All right, just limit how many people. And there are people waiting like at least a good 15, 20 minutes outside.
I remember when they had the time limit thing, like you get an hour and a half.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, like, and then
that made more people come in. Like, because if you just sign up, and I don't think they had a limit to how many people could sign up for that specific time.
Yeah.
So when everybody came in, everybody just went in all at once.
Yeah, it's true.
And from that time, and they like kicked everybody out after like that certain period.
Yeah, I know. They're like, all right, everyone has to go. But the one time you're not allowed to go when it was that system. You're not allowed to go more than once a day. But I screenshotted the screen and then I went back in like an hour later.
Yeah, that time they had this system where if you download the app and you check in the time, it shows like a green screen with your face on it.
With your face,
so that they know which person is in.
Yeah. And that's it shows like the date and the time and stuff, but they're kind of like if they know you or like
they see the screen, they just see
you walk past and show them, and then you're good. You can just go in.
They don't like look to see that you're on the app itself. So
yeah, that's true.
Like that's what like when we were in Denver, my brother like
that was funny.
took a screenshot.
That was like he basically like cut his image onto mine, and like changed the name and made it the exact font as it was on the app.
I don't know how he got the font right.
I know he got the font perfect. I was like, damn.
Yeah, it was just on Snapchat too. Right?
Yeah, we had it on Snapchat.
Somehow it's possible to cut all that out.
Yeah. That was fun, dude. We went to Denver. We didn't even expect to go to the gym, but we went like 2-3 times.
Yeah.
That was good.
My cousins didn't want us to go at first. I was like
COVID.
No, hell no. We gotta go.
Yeah.
And that gym was huge. Like that was massive.
Dude. you mentioned Newsom. Like, did you hear that he was at like a really expensive restaurant indoors and stuff? With and like this was when CDC the curfew was in, or he was. I think I don't know if the curfew was in place, but he was planning on doing it. And like, yeah, people took pictures and like it like spread out. Yeah, it blew up. The funny thing is, people from the California Medical Association, I think his like lobbyists and stuff, they were all there. Yeah. And those are the same people that are telling him put these restrictions in. Like we don't like and we have to preserve it. And they're the ones who are literally doing. Yeah, it was like 10 people, like this like big table, and then just all gathered up. Yeah. Like
no masks.
If he's the one who implements like the law and everyone has to like, or not a law, but like what's a restriction. The right term for restriction? If he's the one who implements it, he should lead by example and follow it strictly. Like, I guarantee you, or I don't guarantee, but it's most likely that he's done this in the past. Like, it's just no one's there to take a picture of it. Yeah. So, I mean, it's hard. Like, even with in Thanksgiving, like they say after 10 o'clock in Orange County, like you'll get you'll get a ticket. You get.
I think it's not only Orange County; it's the entire California.
Really? Yeah. Oh, damn. 10. Yeah. After 10, you like you can get pulled over and they can ticket you and stuff. Like even that, like I think some of the
and my mom said that's like a misdemeanor charge. Misdemeanor? If you get that shit. So.
Damn. Yeah. It's like it's a risk, but then again, like. Most of the cops, especially on Thanksgiving too, I think the cops would understand, like, unless they like use their power like in the wrong way. Most of them would understand these people are just like trying to get a Thanksgiving in there. Yeah, like these people are just trying to have Thanksgiving and are going home probably. So it's not like ruin their night. So I didn't. We were still driving. We were still driving back home when it was already 10. And there's a bunch of cars. Yeah, so how many cops are you going to have? Even, I guarantee even at like 12, there's a bunch of cars. Yeah. So how many cops will you have to pull people over? It's just inefficient. And like, you don't want them profiling someone who has a bad car. So it's better to just let them go. Like, yeah, it's not like driving. You don't know what their situation is. So,
yeah. And plus you can't like, go to every house either, like and check, like, hey, you have 10 people here. You got some turkey. Let me see.
It's like if there's more than 10 people, you're giving me turkey. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like, but I'm just like, why would Newsom even like do that? And then all he had to do, I feel like he's the one who controls it. So if he breaks it, he should face more consequences. Like if you're in the position of power, and you should face the same consequences as the same at least. That's the minimum, because like all he had to do was just like go in front of the reporters and just be like, I'm sorry, I sat down, I should have stood up. He just said something like that. He's like, I should have stood up, went to my car and left. And then like, but you didn't. I mean, we'll let you off, but I'm pretty sure you've done this like last week. You're gonna do it next week. Like, I know like people cannot follow this strictly. I remember like months ago, everyone was, a lot of people were like mad and like posting on their story constantly. Like, you guys are, like so irresponsible. This can stop if everyone stays in. Like you got, just please stay in. I've been staying in. I've been doing my part. Now, like 80% of those people are out and about right now.
No, they don't I think after like a June, certain point, because people got impatient once the CDC and the White House said like, okay, 2 weeks. Yeah, it'll be done. It'll be done in 2 weeks. Trust us. It'll be done. Don't worry about it. 2 more. Okay, we'll add 2 more. And now what is it? November? Dude. Almost December. We're still at it here.
Wait. February was COVID. We didn't even like.
I think we talked about it. If we go back, like I don't know. Some of you
I
go back
rewatch that. We probably talked about it like vaguely,
like vaguely. Like I think
it wasn't even big.
Yeah,
it wasn't that big. But
yeah, it was just we went to Staples Center with like a bunch of people.
Yeah, and apparently it was here in late November, so
I don't know.
we were out there.
But luckily we still haven't gotten it. Like
I know.
And our family, like knock on wood, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's we've been to like 2 states and like
3 for me. Yeah.
3, yeah. I've been to Mexico, so I've been out of the country. And I still haven't gotten it. And my brother's been to like bars and stuff, and he still hasn't gotten it. Some of his friends have, but they're like quarantining, you know. They say they just have a slight fever. And they're fine after that. They recover. But it's just like I laugh when I see these like the same people who are getting mad at people like a few months ago. Yeah. Say in like April or something, are the same people who are just going out now.
Yeah. Because at some point you can't just like stay at home the whole time. It's not gonna be healthy. Like that's why I don't think the gym, like shutting down gyms, is good. Because
some people, that's like the way they let out stress and stuff.
Yeah, it's a form of like meditation, just working on your body and stuff. But when you don't even give anybody an opportunity to use it, like if you say like if you want to go, you could go, but it's a risk you're taking, and that's fine. If they could take that risk, then by all means. But if by shutting it down completely, that's not the right thing to do,
dude. So this is weird though. Like, you know, like COVID's supposed to have a really like, it does have a really high like survival rate. If you have underlying conditions and all the stuff, old age, then you're more likely to get really sick or die or something. But I saw this video like on Snapchat. This lady, she was healthy, like probably mid 40s and maybe like early 50s, and she would do Pilates like 3 times a week, cardio 3 times a week. I think she was like, I don't know if she was vegetarian or vegan, but she probably ate healthy because she was really in shape. And she got like it has to be like a really bad strain of it, because it doesn't happen to everyone. It's just like it's a rare case where you're unlucky. But this lady, like she was really sick when she got it, and then she had long-term effects. Like she's like months in now, and she still has
symptoms.
She still has symptoms. She can't like run for a long time. I don't even know if she could even run for like 30 seconds. But yeah, dude, that's why I'm like confused. I'm like, damn, if someone just randomly gets unlucky and gets that, even if they're like 20 years old, that would suck.
Yeah, it probably has to do with like the strains of it.
Yeah, it's a virus. It's gonna mutate. That's I'm no like virology PhD, but influenza, it was here in 1918. That's what the flu is. It's still here. It's just we have a good system of vaccination for it. Like
and people still die of it, and people still get it.
Yeah, and influenza as a virus, it's gonna mutate a little bit every time we come out with a new vaccine. So it's just a matter of like COVID's gonna be here. Everyone's like COVID's gonna end. Dude, 100 years from now, there's still gonna be a COVID, but it's just gonna be like something like the flu.
Like not as impactful.
Yeah, it's not as impactful, and we'll eventually adapt to it and raise our immunity to it. But yeah, like it's not gonna just end. Like this vaccination is gonna help, and like it's great that they're like,
and
it's almost
they're doing
done.
it quick too. Like
they're doing it quick,
like a speeded up process.
Yeah,
because it like usually takes
some operation. Like I forgot what it's called, but they're trying to do it quick.
It usually takes a few years for all the testing to be done, and the scientists have managed to do it. Like all these different companies you've heard of, Pfizer, Moderna, like they're all trying to get it done.
Stock market's booming for that.
I know. Everything balances on whether the vaccine is gonna come right now. Like whenever they say like the 96% efficacy on the vaccine, they're like the whole stock market Dow got to like 30,000.
30K. Everyone's on Robinhood, just like freaking just trading right now. Robinhood, isn't it an IPO now, or
I'm not sure.
I think it's like it's going to be, but
yeah, a lot of people have like over the past, like, I think 2 or like 4 years, there's been an increase in like younger investors, I think.
No, like, which is good.
Yeah.
Dude. Like you need.
Like, I don't think that many kids started off like this interested in learning about stocks until now, like with the internet, YouTube.
Yeah, that's good. As long as you're not just like, they just think it's like a it's a money making machine if you can utilize it properly. Like I have yet to like start a 401k, but I should, because if you have it at 18 and you're getting consistent, it's like climbing. Yeah, a recession or two maybe, but overall the profit will be high. So when I'm 50 or 60, and if I start it right now, I know like I'm gonna have money.
Yeah, and I recently opened a Roth IRA.
That's what I'm gonna open up. Because isn't that the one where you get taxed when you put the money in, not when you take all of it out? Yeah, so that's more efficient as a younger person.
You just put in money in every month, or however many times you want, whatever the amount you want, whatever you could afford. And as long as you keep putting it in, and then it'll continuously, they like reinvest it for you basically. And
compound interest. Yeah,
that interest adds up year after year. You leave it in for like 30, 40, 50 years.
It starts making money for you at one point.
Especially at our age, like when you're in 18, 19, like that, when you're like 50, 60, like you could guarantee like you'll have $1 million. Yeah. Like you could guarantee that that'll be there for you.
If not a million, like at least like 100,000 or more. And that'll always help you, like no matter what situation you're in.
And it starts with just like a little bit, like people I think don't understand.
Like 20, and then it'll keep going up.
Like people don't realize that, like about saving money as much as they used to. Like they see all the people that have the nice shirts and like belts and
Gucci, like and all that,
the nice cars, but they don't realize like all these people that do that also save money as well. Like they also put it away and do the Roth IRA or wherever investments they make.
Yeah, saving is good. Like you don't. Saving's good, but when it comes time to spending, you don't want to always be conservative. Like, say you go to a restaurant, like it's a nice restaurant, and you really haven't been eating out that much. You've been saving. You don't want to just be like, oh, I'm gonna save. I don't want to drop $100 tonight. Like, it's good if you're with like friends or family.
Yeah, friends or family. And it's a special occasion.
Not a common thing. Yeah, it's special. Dude, just spend your money and enjoy it, because like you're going to have to enjoy it at some point, because what are you going to do when you're like 60 or 70? You don't have any experiences. All you've done is just saved. Like it's good to travel. Like that's why like our parents aren't like multi-millionaires, but we've been to so many countries. That's important.
I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah,
like,
that's like so many people like that I know, they've only been to here or Mexico or something, and like
they've only been like around this area and like road trips at mass
road trips. They haven't even been to the other side of the country. So like they're like amazed when I say I've been to like 12 countries, and like I've experienced so much, and I'm like planning on continuing traveling.
Starting like that at a young age.
It's the best thing you could do.
Yeah, so you don't want to just like not have anything. Like we're not saying save every cent, save everything you got. No, you know, you could enjoy your life, but also at the same time, you got to remember like you got to play it for the long run.
If you're right now a college student or something, you're making like, you're working part-time and
minimum wage.
Your plan is to like save. It's just like money for college. Don't go like buy like a $5,000 like Gucci bag or something.
It's basically don't buy shit that you don't need.
Yeah.
I mean, if it makes you happy and like it'll, like it really will
whatever
make
your priorities are.
Yeah, whatever your priorities are.
That's what you have to learn as in growing up. Like your priorities shift.
Because like Kevin Hart, he said like this story that he said that when he first got his like first big like pot of money, like somebody gave him for doing a show, or he got signed or something. Yeah. And he got like $200,000, like $200,000, $300,000. Somebody gave him that. And he said, I thought that this was the money, like this was all mine.
Yeah.
Like this is 300,000. Like every dollar is mine. But he didn't realize that there are taxes.
Yeah.
There's agents' fees. There's this. There's that. There's travel. Like now he understands that. Like right when I get a big movie, he gets paid millions now. Every movie he gets paid millions. He knows that half of that, I already know it's not mine. Like half, whatever I make, half is not mine. Like that's taxes, that's expenses, that's everything. Like I don't touch that money because I know like there's things that's gonna come up. And then even after the half, like he says, I split that in half again. And then that half, so like that the other half is the stuff he invests in. Yeah. Invest in businesses, invest in different stocks and whatever.
He learned from his mistakes. That's good.
Yeah. And then the other half is what he spends on. And that, like, you know, he's a millionaire. So like that percentage is probably millions of dollars for him. Yeah. But he didn't start off like that. And this is how he did it. Like when he didn't have millions, maybe he had only a few hundred thousand. That's how he lived his life based on that amount. Yeah. And then that compounded over like insane work ethic, like getting to where he is now. Yeah. That's how you do it.
Dude, you remember the story with Shaq, how he bought like so much shit one day? Like he bought a Mercedes and his mom's like, you didn't buy me once or something. So he went and got
At first, one. Like he bought one for himself. Yeah. And then his dad wanted one. And then his mom wanted one.
Yeah, he just went, all right, let's go. Like,
and he said he didn't negotiate whatsoever. Like he just went in there. Whatever it costs, I'll pay it.
So, that's crazy. And then he bought like a diamond ring or something, like expensive.
I think it was when he said the first time, like the first check he got from the NBA, it was like a pre-signing $1 million that he got. So his accountant called him like 48 hours. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, this is going to be out in no time.
Oh, yeah, dude. That was a funny story with Shaq.
Yeah. So, finance, very important in life.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm taking this this class for it's a seminar for next quarter, winter quarter. It's called like The Beauty of Mathematics. And like in the course description, it's like you don't need a calculator. Like you just got to be ready to be in disbelief, because it's basically like how Galileo said like mathematics is like the language of nature. And is basically going to teach us like the phenomena of like just math basically, and how it relates to things in life, in the universe, and all aspects. So like I'm like hyped for that. Like I like math. I'm not like a freak about it, but like I know there's like stuff like the Fibonacci sequences and stuff, and like
I don't know anything about that.
Like that stuff's pretty insane. So like I know I'm gonna learn like some crazy shit in that class. And like also recently I read this book on like memory. It's called Moonwalking with Einstein by Joshua Foer. Yeah. And dude, it's a pretty insane book. It basically like talks about internal versus external memory. Like external memory, say like the computer, our phone, like the video camera, books, our notes, our calendars, written information. That's all external memory. Internal memory is obviously whatever is in our brain. And it's really interesting about that stuff. And
like the reason why we're so advanced is because of the external as well. I mean, internal as well. But if we didn't have right books,
now, external,
if we didn't have like any way of writing shit down, we wouldn't have the knowledge for future generations. Yeah, it's like before anything was written down, people would just talk.
It was verbal, and then communication.
After generations of doing that, you won't get the same information.
Yeah, you know? No, that's for sure. Yeah, like even I'm taking a Greek myth class, like things like the Odyssey and the Iliad. It was just bards, which are basically just like people who sing poetry and stuff. It's just generations of those kind of people that are passing it down.
Yeah.
And that's why they used words like gray-eyed Athena and stuff, just to like, that helps them remember it more, like details, visionary details. That helps them remember it. And so that's how, like, that's why the Odyssey and Iliad and stuff are written kind of weird, because it was originally like bards passing it down, singing it. So they would sing these stories, like these long ass stories.
Sing it.
And yeah, they would sing them. And I think, I'm not sure if this is true, but like Homer, because he's supposedly the one who wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey, he was apparently the last bard, the last person he sung it to someone who was able to write it down. And that's why Homer's considered the author. And again, Homer, that's his version. The person who taught him probably said something different. That person who taught him is different. So yeah, it's always that's
whatever
why,
the interpretation of it is. And even with books, like, it could be interpreted differently by anybody else, but with books, anybody could read the book. Like, if they know the language, they could read it and interpret for themselves.
Yeah, I was just reading, like, for class, I have to read this book called On Writing. There's just sections of it, and it's by Stephen King, or Stephen King.
Stephen King.
Yeah, Stephen King. And he was basically like saying how writing is a kind of like telepathy, and how he described like this cage with a rabbit in it eating a carrot, and it had the number 8 on its back in blue ink. And he said the reader knows what I'm talking about, but he doesn't know. He didn't say if it was a glass cage or a steel rod cage or a fenced cage. And he didn't say what kind of rabbit it was or how, like, details about the carrot. But like, yeah, he was just saying how it's all your own interpretation when it comes to like reading.
Your own imagination.
Yeah, and your imagination. He said,
you fill in the details of it.
Yeah, he said most people would be intrigued by the number 8 on a rabbit's back, like in blue ink. And it was just like super interesting how like what you read is always your like the reader's interpretation. Like, ideas flow, and you get that idea and put it into the plethora of ideas that you already have, and it mixes to create a new idea which you can write down or say. So like, yeah, writing or reading is like similar to future memory, or like writing, because future memory is just what you have right now, plus or what you're reading and what you're taking in, plus past memories. So if you're always like reading and writing, and tying that automatically, your brain ties it back with past memories. That's how you make new connections and stuff. The book talks about that. I'm like paraphrasing heavily, summarizing, but yeah, that book is interesting. Like, it said in antiquity, like way back, like your genius, one's genius, because they didn't have writing back then. So one's genius was measured by how much they can memorize. Like, apparently, like most of the people back then
memorize a lot.
They can memorize a lot. They had these memory techniques. Like, it was a mnemonic way of memorizing. Like, it's kind of how with like the months and days or whatever, or the months of the year, like how this one's the 31st like month of with 31 days. This one's 30 days. So it's like, that's a basic example of a mnemonic way of learning. And so they had these techniques. So apparently most people could do that, but your genius was measured by on what scale you could do it at. Because some people, this dude memorized the whole population of his Roman city, like a city in Rome, by
all
name,
names,
every name. And he couldn't study writing. He just
had the pronunciation.
He asked them their name, he got it, and he remembered it through a mnemonic way of learning. So you could ask him 2 years later and he'll know the person's name.
Like, there's this other technique I wrote, like, this isn't anything with mnemonic or anything, but it's I read this in a book. It says that whenever you meet someone, you should ask them, like, not only the name, but what they like have a conversation with them. Yeah. So that you build that connection. Meaningful. like so that you remember that person. Oh, this guy, he likes or he's from Spain, or he likes this ice cream or whatever. So that you remember it that way as well.
Yeah, so. the book I think talks about that too, and that's important. But like back to antiquity, they were saying like this dude in like Thailand or something. I think this is modern. But these people are like what you call like participants of the World Memory Championship.
Yeah,
I'll get into that. It's gnarly, but this dude memorized a 56,000 word like a Chinese English dictionary. He memorized that whole thing, and he used his body parts as a tool, his bones, as a tool of like remembering it, because there's this thing called the memory palace. When you're trying to remember something in this mnemonic way of learning, like there's something called a memory palace, and it just has to be something that a place that you know really well. So your household, like your childhood house you grew up in, like you can close your eyes and look left and right, and like you can walk through it basically, and you know where every room is, every detail is.
Like that, I've had that.
Yeah,
at night, whenever
you know your house like that.
Like so, at night, whenever you need to go to the bathroom, like you just know exactly where the door is, exactly where everything
and so
is.
You have a memory palace, and you make certain loci, which is like a locus, and you can basically place an image there. So, like, if you want to memorize a to-do list, like say you have to get cottage cheese from the grocery store, along with other items, you kind of you use your house. Say the first time you're doing this, you use your house as a memory palace. And you basically close your eyes and walk through your house like in a certain path. So you go upstairs, you go to your room, and you walk through your house, and you put like an image, a visionary, like very visual image, with try to put sense, or try to put all your senses in, like feeling, hearing, like color. You can make the image talk, like anything that will help it stick to your mind, or make it like something sexual, or funny, because that helps people remember more. And so you kind of walk your path through the house, and you put images in certain places, and so you could remember long lists like that, like up to 100 words. And that's what these people in the World Memory Championship do. Like they have to remember like thousands of words, and they have to like remember the order of like 2 decks of cards or something, maybe more. To become a grandmaster, you have to memorize the order of 10 decks of cards. It's just like gnarly stuff. It sounds useless, and like for when you utilize it that way, it's kind of just like what are you doing? You're putting in that much energy into that. Like it's not, it doesn't make any sense. Like go do something more productive, or use it to something more productive, which like that's completely true. And like, so that way of memorizing is like what they do in the memory championship, and it's pretty crazy. But this one dude, he's a grandmaster in like memory. He basically sparked his interest in that kind of stuff when his college teacher, his professor, on the first day of school, he was a freshman, and his every student came, he took the roll call, the teacher did, and everyone who was absent, he said their first, middle, and last name, their address, their phone number. Like he knew everything, and by memory. And like he plays that trick apparently every year to his new students, because he knows that he's like good at that type of thing, like memorizing with using those techniques. And so that sparked the student's interest. He's like, what the hell? His name's Tony Buzan. He has a bunch of books and stuff, but basically he's like went up to the professor. He's like, I'm magical. I'm not gonna tell you how I'm doing it. And then later in the year, he's like, no one noticed. Like that I actually did this, or no one came and asked me about it.
Like no one cared about it.
Yeah. But this is how I do it. And he showed them this thing called the major system. I'm not gonna get into that, but it was just like the basic way of starting off. And he's like, holy crap, like this isn't something magical. I could do this. So he just went to the library, got a bunch of books on that stuff, and asked him like what I should do, what I should read. And he basically got good at it. And later in the year, later in his college career, he got so good at it, he could memorize his notes. Like he could memorize a whole study guide and then ace his tests. He started to ace all his tests because he could memorize it. And like some people would say like, well, are you actually learning then? Because like if you're just memorizing everything, like what are you actually learning? But I think you're actually learning, because if someone asks you 2 weeks later, you can pull it out of your head, out of that memory palace that you put all the information in. You could pull it out of your head, and you could say the detail. Whereas the way we learn right now, you don't know what you like. Like I'm in, say, my Greek myth class. I don't know the details my professor was talking about in the lecture, or I don't know what I have in my notes right now at all. So like, if I was able to, so say someone asked you randomly, like, what did you write in this, or what is this about in Greek mythology? And you can't provide all the details because how, like, you just know the general idea of it.
Yeah, because nobody, right? Like most people don't read memorize through that notes like that much. Like they don't read their books. Like they're half-ass studying. They're playing video games and shit.
So like it's imagine how like powerful you'd be if you could like put in that extra energy of memorizing it.
How long does it take him to like memorize stuff?
Probably, well, in that scale, probably like a few hours at least. That's once you're good at it. But once you have it in your head, like you're good. Like so that's why I think it's pretty cool, because right now, like, we only remember the general idea of things. We don't even like so that way of learning is we remember the general idea, but this way it's like cool because you could pull out any detail of any class that you want and just like be like, all right, yeah, this is it. And some dude in like I don't know which
because
state,
usually like that takes like repetition for normal students. Like if let's say you're doing math and you get the same problem again and again and again, you start to know exactly how to do it over time.
Yeah, over time.
But most people, they don't want to focus on it for like a long period of time at one time to memorize it all at once.
Yeah, that's called rote memorization. So it's basically repeating something until you get it.
Yeah, that's what most people do.
That's what people have learned to do since they were like born, basically, since the first day of preschool. Like, so we haven't really been taught how they were taught back thousands of years ago. That's how they were taught. But again, like, we have all this technology, so it's not like necessary. It's not really necessary. It's just like, it's just something that is pretty interesting to me. And like, so this teacher in like Louisiana or something, he teaches AP US history, and all of his students get 5s, like the highest score on their exam, because he's really good at teaching this technique. And he basically creates a whole like time map in their brain using this type of teaching them how to do it. And so they could think of it, and they have all the details. So like, say in the DBQ, you have to know like your facts about
like an essay.
So document-based question, they give you like a vague prompt and say like, write an essay about it. And so they could literally go through their memory palace or their timeline in their head and be like, all right, these are the facts that I have to write about. And so if they're decent at writing, they could formulate a perfect essay. So that's what all of his students get 5s on their exam. So imagine like you could teach math like this. Like some dude who didn't, in the book, he didn't know shit about math, and he applied this memory technique, and he could do like complex ass calculus just by memorizing the formulas and applying it, like which is pretty crazy. So imagine you were taught biology like this, you were taught math like this, history, freaking physics, bro. You could unleash some like genius, bro. Like it's pretty sick. But
instead of just going through like PowerPoint slide, like,
and you're just like, all right, and then you're writing notes and you don't know, like you're not gonna remember it 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I know. So like the teacher like practices it in class with them.
Yeah, he teaches that, and like the people who are really interested, he'll like spend like an hour or two after class, like, and he's like, all right, he teaches them more about like how to do it like perfectly.
I think that's the only way like kids will learn, because like after class, like you don't even want to like do school shit. You're like, fuck that.
You're just like, go.
So that's good though that he teaches it that way.
Yeah, I know. It's like he's like, oh, we're not taught how to remember. We're taught what to remember always. Like we're taught to remember the ABCs, and rote memorization is like as efficient until you get to a certain point. Like, and it's just too time consuming to just trying to keep memorizing something. And if you introduce this technique, say since we were like kids, we were taught how to do this, plus we were taught how to write. Like that's a superpower. Now we know how to utilize the external resources. Like we know what to search up on Google to get our answer. But like if we could put that thing, the answer into our head, and like there's no limit on like how much our brain can handle. Like if these World Memory Championship people can memorize decks of cards, thousands of digits, like have face to name, like so one of the things is you see a face and you have associated name, and if they could do that like every day, and some of them do, like that shows that your brain has an insane capacity. So imagine being able to take that knowledge into your head. Like that'd be insane. But yeah, that's a really good quote from that book. Like we're taught what to remember, not how to remember it. And like it's with, and like the
especially
controversy
with school,
is
like everything in school is about especially in the US, memorizing and then putting it on a piece of paper.
Yeah, but
like that's all it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. So if you knew how to actually memorize through this technique, you'd be amazing in this type of school system, because you're like, all right, I have this completely memorized. I'm gonna just write all of it down. Yeah, and you can put every fact, everything that your teacher's looking for.
But then you could just do whatever else you want to do, like throughout the day, because you already know. All right, I got all this information.
Yeah, you got your whole to-do list in here. You don't have to pull out your phone for it. Yeah, and like
even last episode we were talking about how a lot of people cheat in school. Yeah, and like that it's because they're not interested in it and they don't want to like fucking do all this work to study. But if they knew, like, okay, if I just put like my time into this and memorize this technique, and then I'll be ready for the test.
And then you can go do what a teenager wants to do, like just have fun.
Plus, if you're like a kid, like let's say you're like 5 years old and you know this, like you don't even have to like think twice about whatever subject it is. Like it just comes naturally.
That's like incredible. Like being able to do what a kid does. Like right now, like if you go to a hard like elementary school or prep school or something, it's just work. I'm assuming. So like if you were taught how to do this, like as a kid, that'd be crazy. You could go out and play for the rest of the day. Yeah. And you don't even have to think about like homework, because you can do it easily.
Yeah, that'd be so good.
Like that'd be pretty crazy. And in this in the book, this dude he talks about how he had a huge exam for his like college or something that he was learning. And he had to take this big exam. And he didn't study a bit because he was so good at this technique. He didn't study at all. He partied the night before till 4 a.m. His test was at noon. He woke up at like 9 or like 10, and he just memorized like as much as he could from like the textbook through this technique. I honestly don't know how he does it from a textbook. I know the basics about this stuff, but he memorized like as much as he could. He aced the test. Like just from... Imagine taking the biggest test of your life it's like important.
Like a bar exam, like for law.
A bar exam or something. You don't study, and you party the night before, and you just hit that memory technique. You're just done.
Yeah.
And you take the exam and you pull things out of your head like it's nothing.
That's like insane.
And it's also like really good with like memorizing someone's name. So like it's so say you're at a bar and you're just like you won't forget someone's name at all like at the end of the night if you kind of just put it through your memory and through this technique. And that stuff takes with just a name, it takes like 2 seconds like if you know how to do it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, all right, off this topic. That was a lot of memory stuff.
Yeah.
Probably screwed up your guys' memory by the end of this.
Yeah, well, I'll look into it, and I think other people will too. Like, to learn about that.
Just remember the word mnemonic memory, like mnemonic way of memorizing. Spelled with an MNEUMONIC, mnemonic, I think.
Just Google will autocorrect that.
Yeah, Google will autocorrect it. But yeah, and if you want the name of this book, it's called Moonwalking with Einstein by Joshua Foer. It's like the art and science of remembering everything or something. But yeah, that's a pretty awesome book.
Yeah, like yesterday I told you like that Einstein quote that like he said don't don't memorize anything you could look up. And I think what he was saying was not the like mnemonic way, but he was saying like don't spend time doing something that's not gonna benefit you. Yeah. And instead focus on something you have. Because like of course we are limitless to what we could do, but we are limited in time. If we didn't live like if we had infinite lives, of course we could do anything we want to do. But we only have a specific time, and that specific day, 24 hours in one day, you got to put towards something that you enjoy. Yeah. Something that you like to do.
And like that's last thing about this book, the author of the book, Joshua, he actually like learned a bunch of this stuff. There's a World Memory Championship, then there's a USA one. USA one's a little easier because around the world, like I guess like Austrians and like Europeans and stuff are amazing at this stuff for some reason. Probably not just like there's nothing special about it. It's because they probably were taught from the beginning or something. But this dude, he learned from his mentor. He learned how to do this stuff in 1 year. He said he practiced 30 minutes a day with a 5-minute bonus time, 35 minutes a day. Sometimes even like he didn't want to, so he skipped like a few days probably, but he was consistent with it. And by the end, he won the memory championship in 1 year. And these people have been like, some of the people who participated have been doing it for like 4 or 5 years. So like that's pretty crazy. So this dude had to memorize 2 decks of cards, and a bunch of like digits. And there's also like this event where someone tells you their bio, like as if it's a conversation. So,
and you memorize like, everything about them.
You memorize everything about them. So they're like, I have this type of car, this color. They say their address. They say like their first and last name, and each of the contestants, like they go, all right, what was her address? What was this person? And there's 5 different people who say their bio, and they just go consecutive and go back around. And whoever gets unlucky gets the one that they don't remember. Yeah. And so like they have to memorize people's bio. It's crazy. He did this shit all in a year.
Yeah. It's whatever you put your time into, really.
Yeah. Like, I don't think he really had like a life outside of it.
Yeah, it's because whatever you focus on, that's what you become. Like if you want to focus on cooking, you'll focus on cooking.
Yeah. More of the story, you find what you love and just just grind it. Because this dude found what he was interested in. And
because you never heard of like a professional athlete that's also a world-class cook, that's also a clothing designer, that's also a steel manufacturer, that you don't find these people with that much. You can't get to the highest level in all those things if you just like juggle your day with it.
Yeah, you don't have enough.
You got to focus on one or maybe two. Like first focus on one, do as much as you can with it, and then you'll build from there.
Yeah, at the end when he won, like people were saying now you're on to the World Memory Championship, and he was like, he even wrote like in his epilogue at the end, he's like, and people were telling me that, and I was just like, no, I'm done. Like I proved he's a journalist as his job, so he's like, I did this. He initially got interested by doing an article on this type of stuff, and then he spent a year just grinding this, and he's like, I'm gonna go back to my career. Like I proved my point. Anyone can do this. Like, because most people think, the book, he writes it really well. Like it shows like, dude, how are these people? You said the question like, how the hell are these people doing it? And he constantly refers back to like, anyone can do this. Like you may think, like you don't. Only certain people can do this. Anyone can do it. Yeah, he was just some journalist who has, and he did an IQ test, average IQ, average memory, and he could still do it. So it's pretty gnarly. Like,
yeah,
that's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I just think they should implement that in schools. Like teach that.
Oh, they should teach this stuff in like,
because that's all it is. Is if you know exactly how to do school like that to get the best grades, then like of course everybody would get like straight A's and shit. Yeah,
because like some people like they say like they're not interested in this, so they don't want to put in the work, which is completely fine. But if you knew how to do this, even if you're not interested, you just put it to memory, and then you're just like, all right, I'm gonna take this test and I'm gonna be fine.
Because especially as a kid, like you're curious about anything. Like I remember at like 5 years old, we'd talk about random shit. Like I don't know, we'd learn whatever it was taught. Yeah, and the whole class would pay attention. But as you grow older, and then we start having phones. Like people are like just looking at their phones, and then the lecture's going on. They don't really care. So, like I think the older you get, the less interest you have, unless you like really have the interest already. Like then you go after it and pursue it. Yeah, with anything really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's getting dark out here, so
it's getting pretty dark.
Should we wrap it up? You want?
I guess. Anything? How long has it been?
Last it's like 1 hour.
An hour. Yeah, an hour.
Yeah, an hour.
All right. So that's a decent podcast.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Like a lot of memory talk, a lot of interesting stuff.
COVID talk. Yeah. Thanksgiving talk.
Yeah, a lot of
all right.
A lot of dope shit happening here. Thanks for coming on.
Yep.
And it's been a good time. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Shout out UCSB.
Yep. And thank you guys for listening. Peace.
All right. Peace out.